What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and if for some reason you clicked on this video thinking, hey, where's all the TV show reviews? Well, I have to apologize again, but I'm going to fall even farther behind because this weekend got a bit crazy, and then I've work in the next 3 days, so I may have a little bit of time on Wednesday to get caught back up a little bit, but yeah, it may be a little bit longer before I'm actually able to sit down and just watch it nonstop. But on to the Atlanta United game. Portland Timbers at Portland. Always going to be a difficult place to go, so a draw, not really a bad result. That being said, however, there were still problems that we saw in the last two games. We gave up 6 goals in the last 2 games. There were still the same problems that I saw in those 2 games. We just got lucky today that there weren't more goals. Because you really think about it, there's one that great volley off the post. Very lucky there. There was a goal line scramble where we just couldn't clear it, and then they just kept kicking. We got lucky. It kept bouncing off of us and out. So we really did get lucky today not to lose this game. And the problem is, just like I said when we faced New York, our defensive issues are terrible. And we have to improve our defensive issues. And I heard one of the commentators saying, Martino was saying, oh, well, 2 losses doesn't mean we change up everything. You don't overhaul a system because of 2 poor results. But the thing is, you can look at those 2 poor results and say, okay, so what do we need to fix? So what do we need to work on? And the answer is obvious. I mean, defensively, we were terrible. We're not tracking very well. We're not doing a good job of slowing them down. We're too busy diving in. Pretty lackadaisical on defense at times. Today, I saw the same exact stuff. I mean, in the first half, I think it was about 20 minutes in, there's a moment where a guy is just dribbling down the middle of the field through some of our players. And it's not until Parkhurst sticks out a leg and trips him up that he's finally stopped. But even then, why are you just sticking out a leg and not stepping in front of him to slow him down? So the problems kept happening today, and the goal was just simple miscommunication yet again. You've got Can, who doesn't know whether or not to come. Is he going to come? Is he not going to? Parkhurst and Bloom were like, okay, is he coming or not? And whatever his name is for Portland is just like, thank you, and just headed it home. So it's just lack of communication, lackadaisical defending, and just a lack of willingness to get behind the ball at times. I can't even count how many times that I watched them go, whew, everybody's back. And then for us, it's like 3v4 and nobody else is coming back to help. And even though we've got higher numbers, it's like 1 man higher, and they've got men still coming up the field. Well, most of our guys are just kind of jogging back nice and slow. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take, but I really do think Tata, the one thing he's got to fix is if we are going to play this quick, attacking, fancy style, that's fine. We'll get goals. But we need to make sure that we have a defense that can hold it down. We need to make sure that we have defensive midfielders that are going to help out. So that way they're not just having free reign to run at us over and over and over again. Because frankly, when you play quick attacking football, it looks great, but the turnover is a lot. You turn over the ball a lot because you try these fancy little moves, and sometimes they come off and it looks great, and sometimes it doesn't. Those moments we need to make sure that it's not we turn it over and then they're coming at us. It needs to be we turn it over, now we're organized defensively and we're holding them back. Because it's too much. It's getting way too easy for teams to just run straight through us. And there are way too many really good chances that Portland had today, whereas we only had like a couple. So that's my overall evaluation of the team. Looking at it individually, first of all, the lineup, not bad. Jones hasn't really been helping us in the past couple of games, so I don't mind seeing Villalba come in for Jones. And then Gressel pushes up a little bit more, so now we have Laurentowicz and Carmona back there. So I don't really mind the lineup at all. And then the subs in the second half weren't bad. Bloom, we haven't really seen a whole lot of him. And he was kind of getting run over a little bit on that left side, so bringing Ambrose in as another younger fullback, I believe, just to see how he does over there. And both of them, I would say, had average games, but I don't mind that sub. And then Kratz came on later, and then so did Jones. So just pretty much those two I think Jones was a bit more like, okay, we need to send it up there. We need somebody to hold it up. And so you bring on Jones. He's a big body. Hopefully he can just hold the ball so we're not constantly being attacked. And then Kratz, I think, was just fresh legs, trying to get him involved in the team. Because he looks a solid player, so I don't mind seeing him get some time. But anyway, on to individual. Cans, first off, I said it the past couple of games, he's not ready yet. And I say that, but at the same time, he is a bit younger for a goalkeeper. Most goalkeepers don't really hit their prime until like 29, maybe 30-ish, and he's still, I think, 25. So he's younger for a goalkeeper, and on top of that, we've got Guzan coming in who has loads of experience from the Premier League. So I think what we need back there, not necessarily in terms of ability, but more in terms of leadership. We need a goalkeeper who's going to, when that cross comes in for the goal to happen, we need a goalkeeper that's going to say, okay, if that bounces in my box, it's mine. It's not going to bounce and then there's a defender to head it away as I'm kind of standing there going, what do I do? What do I do? So, yeah, there's just that, I think it's that lack of confidence and leadership that we will get from Guzan. I don't know if Can's there yet. I think he needs more time to develop his talking, his communication, his leadership as a keeper. We need a bit more of that right now. And so Guzan coming in, I think they said in June. Middlesbrough season almost over, so obviously he's not doing great there, but then again, he is facing some of the best players in the world, so not a huge surprise that he's struggling. But coming to MLS, maybe it'll be a bit of a easier step for him, so he's not really having to deal with the the Chelseas and the Liverpools and the Arsenals and all those teams over there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Guzan coming in, but Can today, he showed that he lacks that leadership. As far as our defense goes, pretty much the same as I've been saying the past few games. Like I said, it was very similar, except this time Bloom was in instead of Garza. Garza's struggling with, I think that surgery that he had was bothering him today, this weekend. So Bloom steps in at left back, and definitely, he's average, but you can see he doesn't have that same technical ability that Garza has. When he got up in the attack with Assad and with Almiron, you thought that it was going to be, okay, boom, 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 quick passes, but then it went to Bloom and bad touch, and now either he's being challenged or he has to go backwards or it's out of bounds. So he's definitely not that technical player. Defensively, though, he does okay. He's very aggressive. He doesn't back out of a challenge, so that's good to see. But whenever you've got your fullbacks getting up in the attack and helping out, you want them to be able to move the ball a bit better. He's not that player yet, so probably need to improve there. Parkhurst and Perez, same problems that they had before. Parkhurst should be the leader, but he's not really talking enough. He's not really getting his defense organized like he should. Perez is very athletic, but at times you can see a lot of naive play from him. Just diving into challenges he shouldn't, going out of position to try to win the ball, and then leaving gaps in behind him. But I will say for both of them, their hard work a lot of the times does sort of negate some of the mistakes. They'll make a mistake, but then they work hard to get back. And if everybody worked as hard as those two, I think we'd be okay. But the problem is, like I said, our midfield doesn't really track back well enough. And so it's just those two kind of against most of the other team flying forward. So, but both of them, they still are making those mistakes. And it's one thing to make a mistake and then cover for it. It's another thing when you make a mistake and then it leads to a goal, like the cross in today, where Parkhurst really should be either making sure somebody's got that defender covered or he should be getting it away. But like I said, neither of them talk to each other. They're both kind of standing there like, do you want it? Do you want it? And so the defender just skips through to him and he's easy finish. So those mistakes don't need to happen. Especially the one that led to the really close, constant just kicking the ball inside the area. Just get it out. But it felt like they couldn't because they're too busy. I don't even know what they were doing. It was like they were kind of stuck. Like, what do we do? What do we do? And, Bloom had a chance to clear it. He mishits it. Perez had a chance to clear it. He mishits it. So, I don't know. It's like they get so frantic in there that they lose their heads and they start just whacking at it. And it doesn't work out. They start kicking it out of bounds or they start kicking it into other players. So, I just feel like there needs to be somebody back there who takes the reins and says, this is my area. If anybody's in here, I'm controlling it. So that I think for both of them needs to be something that they start working on. Either Parkhurst needs to step up and say, okay, I've got control of this. I'm going to make sure everything is okay back here. Or Perez needs to step up and say, all right, we're going to work together. I'm going to make sure that I got everything covered, and you make sure you're covering behind me. But either way, we need one of them to step up. Mears did okay. More defensively, he did well today. Attacking-wise, he struggled. I don't know, maybe because it's a different type of field. I don't know how often he plays on turf. I don't know how many of the fields that they've gone to have been on turf. But yeah, he really struggled today in the attacking third. Whenever he got on it, most of the time his crosses are pretty good. But today they weren't. They were overhit. They were mishits. He tried to dribble a couple times and it ended up not working out. He got challenged and just lost out. So attacking-wise, he didn't do well today, but defensively, he did pretty well in getting back. So that's always good to see when your fullback is willing to get up but also get back too. The two in the midfield, Laurentowicz and Carmona. Laurentowicz, fairly good game today. Just did a really good job of once again stepping back and almost becoming a third defender inside with Parkhurst and Perez outside of him. And it provides a bit more protection for our back line. And honestly, if he wasn't in there, probably would have had even more chances for Portland just because he works really hard to get back. However, that being said, there are times when, like I said, he turns off on tracking a man, and it's those moments that lead to the most dangerous chances. So I think a bit more focus from him, 100% focus the entire game instead of just, oh yeah, I'm tracking this guy, I'm running him down, he laid off the ball and now I'm done. No, that guy is still dangerous if he makes a run, so stay with him. So that part of his game needs to improve, but other than that, he did well today. Carmona, though, really struggling. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just trying to do too much, but I constantly see him sliding into challenges, missing out on the ball, most of the time either getting the man or just getting beat entirely. That scissor challenge they went on, close to being a red card. If he had gotten none of the ball at all, probably would have been. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he likes to slide around a lot. And that leads to some poor challenges. That leads to him getting beat quite a bit. So I prefer that he just stay on his feet. He just stand them up, keep them there, stop diving in because you're causing our defense a lot of trouble whenever you try to dive in like that and get beat. So that part of his game really, really needs to improve, especially if he's going to be one of our two defensive mids. Going forward, he seems to do fine when it comes to moving the ball around, the passing and all that. But defensively, it's got to improve a lot. Assad's back in today after serving his suspension, which I still don't really agree with because I understand they're trying to cut out this whole shots to the head and all that, but I've seen plenty of shots to our guys' heads as well. There's one today where the guy smacked Perez across the face while he's falling down. They're not going to call any of that. It's just, ooh, is that an elbow close to his head? Oh, no, none of that. No, you're off. It seems kind of silly to me that you're kind of targeting one team when all these other teams, they're shots to the head as well. But no. It's only whenever they throw their elbow up there. That's the one we want to watch for. So I don't know. It seems silly, but today he's back. He seems like he's getting a little agitated whenever I watch him play. There's just too many times where it feels like he should be just keep working. Keep working hard, keep trying to win the ball back, and it feels like he just kind of will either fall down and look for a call, or he'll start, throw hands up in the air and just kind of stop. So I don't know. He's not the only one. A lot of our players recently have started, come on, referee, and start asking for a call instead of continuing to play for whatever reason. But he does seem to be one that he's one of our more attacking players, and so whenever he's the one falling and looking for a call, whenever he has somebody on the inside that he can play to, it just kind of ruins our attack. So that part of his game definitely needs to stop happening because I am getting tired of seeing it. Even if the guy is grabbing you a lot, just fight through it. The referee's an idiot. He's not going to call it. Fight through it. But he doesn't want to. So, but his play on the ball is definitely really good. His work rate to get back and kind of stop their attack whenever he loses it is probably the best out of all of our attacking players. So that's good to see, but he definitely needs to stop complaining. Almiron Still our most dangerous player, but needs to work on the finishing product. There are a couple times in the first half where he beats like 2 or 3 defenders, clears side of goal, and then lays it across. Not a bad pass, but you have a shot, take it. And in the second half, there's a moment where Mears is making a great run down the side, and instead of laying it off, he looks for a shot. Not a great shot, easily wide. So his decision making needs to improve a little bit because he looks really, really good when he's on the ball. You know, he dribbles really well, he beats players, he's very strong on the turn. But whenever he's in front of the goal, it should be either you have a shot or you don't, so lay it off and find somebody else. And he doesn't seem to make the right decisions all the time. He has scored a couple of great goals, but there need to be more coming from him. Either assists or goals. He needs to start producing a bit more because, you know, you can dribble on the ball all you want, but if you're not producing assists or goals, you're not really helping. You know, you're just another, you know, I can't even think of a player to compare him to. Sturridge is a pretty good representation of that. But you know, he's not really not a team player, but there's just something lacking when it comes to he's in front of the goal. It doesn't feel like enough of the time the ball ends up in the back of the net whenever he's on the ball. So, and that part of it just, I need to see more that way. And then the last attacking mid is Gressel. Obviously, I haven't really been a fan of him. He's not really produced a whole lot. The goal, I will say, was kind of lucky. You know, just nobody's really tracking. Side misses the ball, and then he ends up popping up in the right spot. Doesn't have a great hit, but the goalkeeper, I guess, was wrong-footed, maybe? I don't know. Like, watching it again, the goalkeeper really, really should have had it, but for whatever reason, wasn't ready for it, and so dribbles in near post. So, glad he got the goal, but overall, he still needs a lot of work. He still needs to work on, you know, that passing movement. There are too many times where he makes the wrong run, or he passes it to the other team, or you know, it feels like he should pass the ball, but then he holds on to it a little bit too long and gets picked off of him. So, I don't know. He's one of those players that at times you're just like, oh, that was a nice move, and then at times you're just like, why is he even out there? So, he's kind of a back and forth player for me. Has some good moments, but also has some really, really bad moments. So take from that what you will. And then lastly up top, Hector Villalba. Not really productive today. There are many times where it felt like he should have been making a run or he should be beating the defense with speed. Today it just didn't feel like he was on top of his game. You know, the couple games where he's been up top, it felt like it was his natural position, like he's always played forward. Of course he's going to be up there. Of course he's going to be beating the defense. Today I didn't see it. You know, I don't know if they marked him a little bit tighter or if he was maybe holding a higher line, and so, or maybe they were holding a deeper line, and so he wasn't really able to get in behind like he likes to. But it just felt like he should have been a lot more productive today, and he wasn't. You know, there are only a couple times I can think of where he was really involved, and neither of those moments led to a goal. So I don't know. Not really a poor game from him, just kind of a non-productive game. And whenever you're supposed to be one of our strikers, you kind of need productive games. So obviously still waiting for Joseph to come back because he's going to be really, really missed. Or he is really, really missed. He's going to be really, really welcomed back in because we need somebody up there who's willing to just work nonstop and put a lot of pressure on people. So we don't really have that in Jones or Villalba. So, but the first sub, like I said, Ambrose comes on for Bloom. Same thing, you know, average defending. Getting forward, I didn't really see him get forward a whole lot. You know, he got forward for the throw-ins and stuff, but I didn't really see much of it whenever it came to passing of the ball. So, you know, he looked okay, but still not Greg Garza. We really need him back in. The next one was, I think Jones came on first for Villalba. You know, like I said, come on, big body up top, hold up possession so our defense can have a bit of rest. Unfortunately, didn't really do that very well. I talked about this, I think, last game. He's a player who has a big body and can win the ball out of the air, but it feels like he doesn't really know what to do with it after that. There are many times where it just feels like, oh, he won the ball, great, and now he's losing the ball because he doesn't know what he's doing with it. So he just needs to make decisions a bit quicker, especially whenever he's under a lot of pressure. You need to make a quick decision. You need to get rid of the ball and keep possession for us, not lose possession, so now we're under pressure again. And then the last one, Kratz came on for Gressel. Just fresh legs, like I said, trying to implement him a bit more into the team because, he does do some good, solid work. I think, honestly, from what I read on the app, there's an Atlanta United app, he does technically qualify as a forward on the app, so I don't know if that's his natural position or what, but watching him work back and kind of be that defensive midfielder back there, he doesn't really hold that position that Laurentowicz and Carmona do, but he does get back and kind of just plant himself on the winger. Whoever's back there, he just kind of puts himself in that position to win the ball or put pressure whenever it goes out there. So I don't know what technically position he plays, but he normally does a really good job whenever it comes to putting pressure on people and forcing them wide, keeping them in one position, standing them up instead of diving in. So maybe we should look at him instead of Carmona because, like I said, slides in way too much. But that's about it as far as individuals go. I mean, overall, still kind of frustrated, still kind of like we need to improve, we need to get better. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you really look at it and we had a great start. We were on a roll for a while. And now it's like, oh, we've lost 2 in a row. One of those was at home. And now we're drawing, but narrowly drawing. Many, many good chances for Portland late on. So I realize not having Joseph in hurts. I realize not having Garza in hurts. But we still have a lot of talent on the field that I feel like isn't being either utilized properly or they're not really committing to their jobs on the field. So still don't know what to do. Still don't know what Tata needs to do. But I need to see some change. I really do think that we need some change on the field. We need some change in the way we play. We need more defensive organization. We need more structure back there. We need to stop playing around with it so much. I mean, how many times do we play around with it in the back to the point where now we're under so much pressure there's no option but to kick it out of bounds or kick it up the field and we lose it up there. So we need more movement up top. We need more work defensively. And that's about it. It's kind of simple when you look at it overall. When you watch the game as a whole, you can kind of see what we need to work on the most. So hopefully they work on it. Hopefully, obviously we've got 2 home games in a row, so that'll be nice to have 2 games in Atlanta, finally back home in Bobby Dodd, however long it's going to be home. But, we just, maybe being at home for 2 games will kind of help us get a little bit of organization, a little bit more confidence. If we pick up 2 wins here, that would be really, really nice. Especially one of those games is New York FC, so it'd be good to get some revenge for making us play at Yankee Stadium. What is that? So anyway, that's about it for this game. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Who's your man of the match? What were your thoughts on the game? Let me know what you can talk about and discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Atlanta United reviews. I'll see you at the next game. Peace out.